Okay, here we go. We are back to 7 Days to Die. Unfortunately, I didn't save the other stream, but basically where we're at is I just started the game and got to the trader for the first time and started to build a horde base. So if anybody didn't watch, anybody who's watching now didn't really miss much. And of course, my avatar is complaining that he's thirsty again. So I think we need to do a couple of missions from the trader so that we can start to accumulate some food.
Morning. I got a hangover, so just keep it down.
I guess we'll start with a fetch quest, work our way up.
I got work to do. Well, don't just stand there with your thumb up your ass. Go do the goddamn job.
Take a shortcut. Now I have placed down a couple of storage boxes here, so that way I have a place to put my stuff so I don't have to continually carry it all around. Take a slight detour just to see what we can see. Oh, I see a purse. Maybe a gun? Maybe not. Now, if you notice, anybody who's played this game before will notice that they have changed the quest markers. Now they look like little flags instead of just arrows pointing down. One of the things to bear in mind is when you start the quest, it will reset the POI, which is point of interest. So if there's a mailbox or some other significant item that you want to loot first, do that before you start the quest and you can loot it twice. If you notice, I just looted the mailbox and now the mailbox shows untouched and there is yet another book in the mailbox. So you can sometimes double up on good stuff by looting and then starting the mission and then looting again. Like that. That's something we definitely need. What we also need is a cooking pot. We have a campfire, but we have no cooking pot, so we can't boil water. There's a lot of things we can't do, because a majority of the things at minimum require a cooking pot. Now also, on these missions, in these houses, you'll notice that there is a linear progression. It's always a good idea to follow that linear progression because it will take you through the entire house, where if you start breaking down things and doing and exploring your own way, you might miss something. I knew that guy was going to be there. take him out first. Now, if you notice, there's two ways to go here. First thing I want to do is I want to collect up any cobblestone. So that's what we're going to do. The bags usually give concrete or sand, depending on the bag, of course. These are concrete bags. And the cubes give sand, clay, and cobblestone. And notice we got sand and clay out of that bag, and then we got some concrete or some cement out of the other bag. Oh, and by the way, in case you hadn't already noticed, the zombies like to hide behind doors. So always be mindful of your environment. And loot, at least at the beginning, loot everything. Later on it'll be less of a problem, but for now, we need everything we can get. Sometimes there's a zombie in there. In this particular case, we got lucky and there wasn't. Probably one in there. Not this time. Oh, we got that chicken ration earlier, so we're going to make use of that now. We could prepare it into something better later on, but right now we don't have the recipes for that, so we have to use what we have. Okay, utility cart. And maybe some clothes. No, just cloth. Okay. There's another one. Okay. Now, these are concrete, and they even say concrete on them. And these are the ones that will give you cobblestone, sand, and clay. There we go. There's some cobblestone for us. We are running low on food, which is no big surprise. Food, and in the initial part of this game, food is a major issue. Now also, when you're sneaking, you do less damage, but it also makes less noise. So it's a trade-off. Okay, now we sneak our way up the stairs. We loot everything. Everything is useful. It may not be useful initially, but we loot everything. Even the chairs. If you have space for it, loot it. You can always be a bit more picky about what you keep later. Also, notice the light. The light will point the direction you should be going. Now, that's not to say that you can't pick your own path, obviously, but it will generally give you a pretty good idea which way you should probably consider going. Not much useful there. Oh, she's mad. Bookshelves are important because they give you books. Duh. And what I do is I salvage the chairs and break the pictures. The reason I salvage the chairs is because they give you back wood and scrap metal. If you want to put chairs in your base, you can absolutely do that. They don't really do much except cosmetic, but there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to be that guy, you can absolutely be that guy. Alright, nothing up there to worry about. Now we sneak our way up to the attic. Notice the door. Now, a lot of times you will see vultures. If there's an open roof, there will be vultures. Not always, but a lot of the time. So if you see an open roof, keep your eyes to the sky because you may get ambushed by a vulture. Okay. We're going to collect these up while we're here. We'll grab that trash while we're waiting for our stamina to come back. Okay. And this should be the final room. Second to final room. I take it back. We'll grab everything we can. It'd be less important later to grab everything. I heard something. You can see the loot chests in that last room. There should only be one. We'll wait for her to come to us. There she is. Isn't she pretty? There we go. Now we haven't gotten our supplies yet. If you look up at the compass, it shows that it's down a level, or down from our current position. Arrow. Okay, so now we do a little cleanup. We have cleared the house. There are no more zombies in the house unless we have one wander in from the outside, which, if you make enough noise, that can happen. But what we do want to do, and we have space, is we want to grab whatever's left. Some ammunition. Ah, some 7.62. That's good because we picked up that machine gun, the pipe machine gun earlier from the trader. We got a can of pasta, a fireman's almanac, which gives us a chance to find more water and loot, which is good because food and drink are they're the most important thing in this game. That and not getting eaten by a zombie, obviously. We chop our way into the pass and gas crate, and let's see what we get. Ah, another book. So we use our books, and the only thing we have left, if you so desire, which I do, is to harvest the concrete that's up here. There. Now, we know that it's right there. You can see that it's there, but it's below us. So what we do is we go back down. See where it is? It's behind the picture. Again, it's good to break pictures, because a lot of times what you need, or what you need is behind the picture. Alright, so we'll make our way back. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to basically just break the door down. We could go all the way back down and around. I'm sure there's probably a way that the game wants us to go. But in this particular case, and watch for the spike traps, obviously. In this particular case, we're just going to go through the door. Takes a minute to break our way through this stuff, but that's okay. Alright. And that sound is our first airdrop. And it's probably going to drop a long way away, because that's what it does. It's probably 500 to 600 meters away. Now I hear zombies. There she is, right there. We're just going to ignore her, and we're going to head back towards Trader Wreck. We'll check and see what we have food-wise. Another chicken ration, and that can of pasta. If you notice, they are both the same food amount. So we're going to... you know what? We're just going to eat them both. I think the new animations for eating is disgusting as hell. But I suppose it's also realistic, so there is that. Okay, now, since we're here, we're going to open the crate. Now, if you notice, these two icons, if you want to take everything out of your inventory that you have all together and put it in the crate, you use the one with the 3 arrows on top of it. If you want it to fill up the existing stacks, as in, say you have more leather, it will automatically stack it on top of the one that's already here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that. And notice it doesn't take everything. It just takes the ones that are already there. And then we'll go back and we'll fill in. Actually, that's medication, so we're going to keep that out. Okay, and then we go back to our friendly neighborhood trader. This guy is kind of a schmuck. Doesn't usually have anything nice to say, but so far he's done well by us, so there is that.
If you want some fancy good afternoon greeting, go suck up to Trader Joel. If you want some food or drink, I'll take care of you.
And there we have our answer.
Now that you did the job, I guess you ain't that damn bad after all.
Okay, now, when you select your rewards, it's generally a good idea to go with the skill magazines until you get to the point where you don't need them anymore, or you only need a few. So for the first several missions, I'm going to go with the skill magazines.
I got some shit work. Let's get one thing straight. You're not working with me, you're working for me.
So we open them up. And we get two random skill magazines. The knife guy ones are good, I need those. The rifle ones are good, and the cooking ones are always good.
What the hell do you want this time?
And we want to sell off our cash, because he's such a pleasant individual. Alright, so for the time being, I wonder if he has a cooking pot. Ah, he does. but it's 600 and we only have 286.
Be careful out there. You wouldn't want to get hurt.
The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back and see if we have anything that can be sold. Because we really need that cooking pot. Later on, you'll get more than you could ever possibly use. But for now, we need all the help we can get. Headlights are good. Radiators are very good. We need to come up with 600. Rifle parts are okay. Okay, I think for now, since we aren't going to have enough even if we sell virtually everything, we're going to do the next mission. It's not too far away, and we may be able to pick up some food along the way. There's also a helmet mod that allows you to filter dirty water. So you can drink basically anything. You can drink out of the local pond. I wouldn't suggest doing that otherwise because you can get dysentery, which will wipe out any water that you have. Especially if you don't have any goldenrod tea. The goldenrod tea will cure dysentery. But you don't get the recipe for that until later on. There's one of our little buddies over there. Let's go say hello. Okay. Dog crates usually mean there may be a dog nearby. And there he is. That was not our finest moment. But this is a good time to introduce everybody to honey. Notice now we have what looks like a nuclear symbol. That means we're infected. Now if that infection gets to 100, you die. So honey will cure 5% infection. So we're going to use that. And the infection disappears. And it shows us 1.3% because there's 1.3% cured left from the honey. Alright. Now that we've cleared out the dog, hopefully there'll be something useful in here so we didn't waste our time. Seem to be coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden. And I'll also notice that since we have a broken arm, we are attacking slowly. So we have to be cautious of that too. Let's see what we need for a splint. We need duct tape and cloth. That was a good shot. Maybe we'll get lucky and get a splint. Not today. No. That's because it's not an ambulance, it's actually a work truck. Alright. And off to Poopy Pants Daycare. We'll check the vehicles first, see if we get lucky and get something useful. Those repair kits will come in handy later. Okay, I could go for the dumpster, but it's a dumpster. I gotta be honest, I don't care. Especially not right now. So I'm gonna get the easy stuff, like the vehicles. Vehicles are pretty random. They can have all kinds of things, so I usually try to check them whenever I can. Notice now that we have started the mission, there are more vehicles in the parking lot, so we have more stuff to check. Ah. Okay, that's a knuckle wrap. If you're going to do bare-handed fighting, those are what you use. There are better things later on, but those are the initial weapon for people who do hand-to-hand. Alright, I'm going to take a 30-second break, and I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. So, we have now looted the vehicles in the parking lot. This time I am going to hit the dumpster in the back, because dumpsters do occasionally have useful items. That one's clear, that one's clear, that one's clear. So, later on, when we get a wrench, we'll start taking those vehicles apart, along with looting everything that's in there. But I don't have a wrench yet, so that's going to have to wait until later. Alright, so we got ourselves a book. And now I don't use knuckle wraps, so I'm probably going to sell those to the vendor. If you're short on leather, you can salvage the knuckle wraps for leather. But generally speaking, once you get to the point where you're hunting for animals, that's not much of an issue either. Okay, that's our first death. No idea why I died. I think I may have run out of food. So we're going to respawn near the backpack and pick up where we left off. Unfortunately, that means that we failed our mission. So we're going to have to regroup, go get our stuff, and then go back to the trader and pick up another mission. I didn't realize I was that I was losing health. Unfortunately, sometimes you miss things. So we'll grab our stuff. Get a little revenge on our friend here. He was nice enough to drop a backpack for us, which that was nice of him. Would have been nice if he'd have done that 10 minutes ago, but, well, you know, you can't have everything. And we did manage to pick up some coffee. Now notice that when you die, your food and your water both reset. That's the green and the blue bar at the bottom here. That tells you how much food you have and how much hunger you have and how much water you have. If those go down to 0, you start losing health, and as you already found out, you die. I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to loot the area anyways, since I'm already here, because we are still on the hunt for food and water. Looks like there may be some food back there. Oh, good. Food and water. Now, there are 3 components to the cooking fire. There's the cooking pot. There is a glass beaker, which basically acts like a water container. And then we have a cooking grill, which allows us to grill meat. So we just managed to get ourselves a cooking grill, so that's good. Still no cooking pot, but we will get there eventually. Usually there's a dog out here. Usually. So we're going to take our time. Lockpicks are also useful later on. When you start finding locked boxes, you can use a lockpick to open it. Actually, we're going to move that. There we go. Hopefully there's no dog out here. Or anything else. There's a zombie right there. So we're going to use our handy dandy bow and we're going to sneak attack. Not enough to kill, but enough to do some serious damage. And there we go. Now I hear a zombie. I'm guessing that he's probably underneath this. Yep, there he is. Ah, good headshot. Alright. Well, this particular mission did not work out the way we would have liked it to, unfortunately. But at least we managed to get a few things that were useful. Okay, got ourselves a book for sledgehammers. While I don't use sledgehammers, I do still try to collect all the books anyways. And while we're here, we got 3 points to spend. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Now I'm prioritizing knives because I like using knives. So you want to prioritize whatever you use first and worry about the other skills later if you have enough extra points. Remember, I'm using a level 1 knife. Level 1 bone knife, the lowest level knife you can get, and still doing pretty well. Okay, there's where our friend was napping at. Alright, so we finish this off by going in here. See the 2 closets, that means there's probably 2 zombies, or at least 1 in this case. We are going to check that other closet because I don't trust it. Okay. A few medical supplies, which we could have used a little while ago, but fair enough. Alright, let's see what we have here. I can use that and free up a space. I can salvage that and free up another space. decide what we're going to do now. Okay. Not a priority. And I don't use coffee that much, so I'm going to just ditch the coffee for now. I know. Not all of us drink coffee. Use that. I don't ever use this one, so we're going to salvage that. Okay. So we've gotten basically everything we can get. While the mission was not a success, we did manage to get a few things that will be useful to us later on, and actually things that are useful to us now as well. And these barrels most likely have gasoline. Not important now, but will become important reasonably soon. And there is the beginnings of our wonderful base. Sell that to the trader while we're there. We'll keep the bow parts for now, though I don't generally use bows past the first tier. And we will place our grill, like so. So now, we can make grilled corn. We can make charred meat, which we could always make. And we can make baked potatoes. Not the greatest cuisine in the world, but it'll do. And we'll put the first modification on our weapon. Now what I want to check, can we make a better bone knife? Yes, we can. Notice that now it's 3. The one I have says 1. So what I need to do is I need to get myself a few bones out of the box and make myself a new bone knife. The higher the tier, the more damage it does. So we'll go like this. We'll swap this to here. Notice now the damage is 6.5 as opposed to 5. Alright. Now, we can't sell these to the trader, so they're not useful for that. But what we can do is we can break it down and then dump the bones back in for it when we need to repair our current weapon. Okay, we'll do that while we're here. We'll drop a couple other things that may be useful later, but not right at the moment. We need to hurry up because the trader is going to be closing soon. So if we're going to get a mission, we need to get it now.
It was a good evening until you came in. What do you want? I got just the job for us. What are you standing there for? Don't you have work to do?
Okay, so we pick up the next fetch mission. Unfortunately, this one's a little farther away, but we'll just have to deal. Get rid of a couple of things we don't need to take with us so that we have extra space. I should have sold that, but that's okay. We're a little short on time, so it's getting dark out. You can't really tell, but if you listen, you can hear the crickets. Now I see a backpack on the ground. Well, sports bag. That will come in handy. I see a mailbox. Always loot the mailboxes because the mailboxes have the books. You want to get better? You need books. We'll just grab a few odds and ends along the way. Why a service truck has gunpowder is beyond me, but it does. I'm not complaining, because again, those will be handy later on when you start making your own ammunition. They're not really good for anything else. Actually, they're definitely not good for anything else. But for now, we can throw them in the box and keep them for later. Because later on, we're going to really need ammunition. Just grabbing some random things along the way. Eventually, we'll invest in parkour, which will allow us to jump higher. So things like gates and fences won't be a problem. We can just literally jump over them. Okay. And here is our next mission. Now, while I'm here, again, concrete on the floor, cobblestone in the bag. We're going to grab both of those, and then we're going to set the mission. And there they are again. We're going to be using a lot of cobblestone and a lot of concrete, so you want to get as much of that as you can. Actually, since I'm so used to it being the other way around. Alright. Let's try our new knife on our little friend over here. Oh yeah, much better. That's an attention getter. Alright. Notice the light. The light tells us where we should start. So that's what we're going to do. See the zombie? Shoot the zombie. There may be one up there. Oh, no, apparently not. It's always good to anticipate where they may be, so you don't get surprised. It's not a guarantee of success, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Now these are stones, so if you're in need of rocks, you can get them pretty easily from this pallet. You'll also get a little bit of wood as well. Later on, we'll be a little bit more picky about what we pick up, but for now, we grab virtually everything. All right. So, this is a new POI for me. So the question now is, how do we get in the house? Okay. Okay. No obvious points of entry, except this. Okay. We could technically make another bone knife now. Level 4, which we will eventually, just not right at this moment. What I'm a little confused about, usually they give you an obvious way into the house, and I don't see that here. Let's go around one more time. We'll break our... there we go. Okay, so this one, they want us to go up top. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to guess that there's probably a zombie behind this wall. There he is, right there. And down he goes. Take my arrow back. And just do a little cleanup. I can hear them outside. There's our way down. We're just going to snipe at him from up here, because we can. Alright, enough of that. Alright. Not quite the way I intended it, but it'll do. Check the pictures. Now, we've already finished the mission, so technically we could leave now. But, it seems a shame to not check the rest of the house. So, even if we die at this point, we've already finished. So, we're good to go. We could walk out of the house right now and be done. But, since we're a little low on supplies at the moment, we're still compiling what we need. It's always a good idea to check everything, to check the whole house. Especially the kitchens where, you know, food and water may be available. Though I have found food in some of the weirdest places. Ah, there's another drink. Another cup of coffee. Iced coffee. Just what everybody needs. Why? Whatever. Don't know why you'd have iced coffee. But whatever. Probably a zombie in that cabinet. So we're going to sneak over. And no. Surprisingly enough. We're not far enough into the game for there to be a lot of zombies just yet. Ah, there he is. See, I knew there was one here somewhere. So all stabby on him. Come at me, bro. And your girlfriend. Now I could just avoid her for the next 15 seconds and she'd die on her own. I just don't feel like that. I should be that need to be that patient right now. Huh. Interesting. Well, 7 years bad luck, I guess. It's always a good idea once you knock them down to back off because you only have so much stamina. So if you can back off and let them stand back up, they do stand back up and then stop for a second, which gives you plenty of time to go all stabby on them again and take them out before they can attack you. So sometimes a little patience goes a long way. Now bear in mind, if you've got a bunch of them on you, that may not be the best course of action. You may want to take them out as quickly as possible. But usually I stab the first one until it knocks him down, and then move on to the next one. You back off a little bit, stab the next one, and then just keep going until we get them all. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Now, I'm going to show you guys a little trick. Notice I have a torch in my hand. You get a torch for free at the beginning of the game. If you point at a wall and right-click, it places the torch on the wall. That also works on your base too. So what you can do is if you have a torch and you want to use it because the room's too dark, you can place the torch on the wall, do whatever you're going to do, and then pick it up and walk away. I hear him. Oh, that music means there's a lot of them. A lot this early in the game could be 5. So we're going to take a second. We're going to take a quick look around. See if we see any more. Our base is over there. Ah, see, there's another one coming. So we'll let him come. And there's another one. Now what you can do is while they're down, you can stab them, and or shoot them, obviously. So if you're in a hurry and you don't want to be cautious, you can go that route. I'm not going to tell you what the best way is because a lot of it depends on how you play. We all play a little bit different, so our approaches may not be the same. Now, the problem that I have right now is I'm getting overweight. Notice the number at the bottom, right here. That tells me that I'm 12 items overweight, because your weight is based on how many items you have in your inventory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear a few things out that I don't need, either because they're for something that I'm not going to use, or because it's for something that I'm not going to be doing until later on, so right now it's not important to have. Now, it is just a little after midnight. It's 12:27 or 0:27. The trader does not open until 8 a.m. So I don't need to rush back to the trader necessarily, because right now he's not open for me to talk to him anyways. So I'm going to make a few detours on the way back, maybe pick up a couple of things, and drop the stuff at my base. And we're hungry again. Still disgusting. Little bike ramp here. See, somebody was using this as a bike ramp. There's little wordplay in the game where some of the, like the, oh, I hear a snake. Oh, there he is. Got him. Like the daycare is called Poopy Pants. You'll find things like that in the game. So if those kind of things interest you, it's always a good idea to keep your head on a swivel, look around, and see what you can see. Because you'll find all kinds of interesting stuff. Cute little word plays and things that may or may not be useful, but they are still kind of cool. Construction sites are good because there's construction materials, stone, wood, concrete, cobblestone, all useful. I don't think weather has any effect in this game, at least not yet. It's something that's been mentioned in the past that they wanted to do, but I don't think they've actually done it. I can honestly say I've never been struck by lightning. I don't think that's a thing, at least not yet. There's a zombie coming. She seems kind of angry. And she's dead. I hear him, but I don't see him. Ah, there he is. careful with those. Those are screamers. If they scream, they will call other zombies. Later on, you may want to use that as a way to level up, but for now, that could be more than a bit dangerous. So we take her out as quickly as we can. Anything good? I see a zombie in there. Yeah, maybe. Just basically collecting resources as we go. Zombie that was laying on the floor when we looked in the garage window. I also noticed there is a loot box down there, so we're going to take advantage of the fact that it's there and hopefully not die in the process. I don't see any other zombies. That's not a guarantee. So what we're going to do is we're going to sneak over here. We're going to open the door to afford us an easy escape. Carefully clear out the boxes and be on our way. Ah, there's one more right there. Nice. Ah, we got our first piece of armor. Okay, so we're going to put this on. Put it on. Now we have gloves. The gloves have their own effect, which increases our salvage harvest by 5%, along with being medium armor. Okay. Now, if you notice the little broken bone over here on the left, this is not actually a broken bone. This is a sprain. Basically, during combat, we sprained our ankle. So that what that means is we move a little bit slower. That also means that if we sprint, it will increase the amount of time it takes for that to heal. So, we have to walk slow. It sucks. It takes what feels like forever, but it is what it is. And also, jumping will increase the damage as well. Thirsty. food is a little low, and still no cooking pot. But we are making progress in the cash department, so hopefully we'll be able to afford the cooking pot from the vendor. We'll pick ourselves up hopefully another egg. No, just feathers this time. Oh, speaking of which, we'll craft ourselves a few more arrows just in case. We're not using the bow as a primary weapon, we're basically just using it for sniping things, so we're not using a whole lot of ammo. But it's always a good idea to keep your ammo up as much as possible. Okay, we have a little meat, which is good because we're going to need food pretty soon. We do have a first aid kit, though I want to hold off on using it until we actually need it. And we'll see what we have as far as materials that we can sell. We do have that one radiator, a few lights, armor parts. Armor parts sell pretty good, so we're going to sell those as well.
Rex is now open. I got a hangover, so keep it down.
Okay, and it looks like Trader Rec opens at 4 o'clock and not 8 o'clock, so that's good too. So let's go visit our trader friend, finish that mission, and see if possibly we have enough for that cooking pot. It looks like we may. Our sprained ankle is almost healed, so we want to take our time and not rush. If we get lucky, we may have enough to pick up a couple of drinks out of the vending
If you try to
machine.
say it's a good morning, there's the goddamn door.
See, he's very cranky.
You think you're pretty smart now, don't you? Here's your pay, Einstein.
Okay. There is a structural brace mod schematic there, or the blueberry pie. The other one's less important right now, especially the Molotov cocktails. We only get one blueberry pie, so I think I'm going to get the schematic. We'll pick up another job. Let's see, this one's close, so we'll
I
go
got
with that
work
one
to do.
first.
Well, don't just stand there with your thumb up your ass. Go to my shop, my rules. You follow, or you fuck off.
Okay, let's see if the cooking pot is still here. There it is. So we'll buy ourselves a cooking pot. There's not much else we can do
Cha-ching!
right now.
Thanks, buddy.
Now, we do have a couple of coffees. We're kind of in more need of food than we are of anything else. I think we're going to get one of these two cans right here. We'll get the chicken soup, just because. Because that gives us 10 food as well as 10 water. So that's good. We use the schematic, so now we can make structural braces when the time comes. And back to the base. The rain's a bit unpleasant, but not detrimental, at least not that I know of. And now that that sprain is heal, we can actually sprint again. Alright, so we put the cooking pot here. We can make grilled meat, which gives us, I believe, 10 food, if I'm not mistaken. But it does also reduce our water. So we're going to try to hold off until we can make bacon and eggs, but we'll see how it goes. If we have to, we will. Okay, the next mission is over here. And since there's not much we can do at the moment, and it is day 3, so we have some time, we're not going to rush to finish the base just yet. We're going to go do another mission or two and hopefully acquire some more supplies. Could break down the fence, but we'll just go around. Pick up the car. Check inside here. Workbench. Workbenches are always good. Let's have a quick look up top. I'm willing to bet there's probably a vulture around here somewhere. There he is, right there. Vultures mean feathers, rotted meat, and bones. Not as useful, but not bad. Grab those medical supplies that are up there. Another jar of honey, always useful for later. And another book. Now, I don't keep dyes, but they do break down into paint. And sometimes it's nice to decorate your base, so I will keep the paint. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Sometimes the cars disappear. Well, when the POI resets, it's a different type of car. If I had a wrench, I could break it down, but I don't. Not yet. So for now, we leave it as is. We're going to use both of these. Why is it green? Should I be concerned about the fact that it's green? I don't know. I hate vultures. They're a pain. They're hard to hit, but for a little bird, they do a lot of damage. All right, I think we're going to leave it here for now. And I will pick up later on this evening, and we'll continue from where we left off. You all have a good night.